Sister Shanice in the house. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of the Sister Shanice Show. I am in Zimbabwe with a team of 37 wonderful delegates from the USA and the UK. And I have with us none other than Irritated Genie. Rise yourself up, my brother. How are you doing?
Fantastic. We're having a wonderful time on our Starlight Global Tour. We're loving it.
Oh, it's such a privilege and an honor, family. I tell you, the trip has been absolutely amazing. And Irritated Genie is here alongside us with a group from the USA. You know, my brother, you told some family members in the USA about this trip, and they've come to join us. But first of all, just tell us, why is it that you decided that you wanted a group of delegates from the USA to join us on a trip here in Zimbabwe?
Well, you know, at first we talked some years ago before you actually came. And the fact that the first time you came, I think you brought almost 30 people. I thought it was just amazing. So I said, I gotta go. And after coming last year, myself and Dr. Berry, that's all we've talked about in the United States of America. We gotta go on one of these Starlight Global Tours, and we gotta bring more straight, black, and proud people from America, because we knew that they would appreciate it, and it's really happening now.
Oh, wow. Family, for some who are part of the delegation, they are putting their feet on Mama Africa land for the first time. You know, just imagine 500 years ago, their ancestors were actually taken away from these lands, and, you know, they passed and they were never able to put their feet back on Mama Africa land. But today, you know, as part of this tour, we are connecting, we are reconnecting our DNA with Mama Africa. And let me tell you this, don't believe anything you read about Africa. Don't believe what they're telling you. Don't believe the narrative or the image that they're showing you of Africa. Africa is beautiful. That's what I think. What do you think, Irritated Genie?
There's no better place on this planet than the African continent. I come back and forth every year, and literally, I can't imagine going a year without coming back home. When I used to come before, I remember after about 2 weeks or so, I'd be like, okay, I'm ready to go back. Now, I never get that feeling I'm going home. I feel like I'm at home, and now I got to go travel back to the U.S.
Most definitely. The people are beautiful. They're welcoming us with open arms. We've been doing some touristy things, and we've been doing some charitable things as well. And, you know, I think on a previous video, I told you a bit about the landmine victims here. People who had lost limbs as a result of those landmines. And despite the fact that an organisation like Halo, for example, last financial year got £61.1 million to be removing landmines, and this financial year got something like £71 million, according to their annual report, you know, to be removing landmines in countries across the world, including Zimbabwe, which is the most densely populated landmined country in the world. You would think they'd be here removing landmines like it's going out of fashion. The people of Mutsi said to us, we ain't never seen this organisation called Halo. So anyway, yeah, we are here doing some charitable work with them, and we're doing the best we can. I'll show you some inserts, you know, of what we've been doing here, and also a clip from one of the newspaper cuttings. So there's so much that we can do as a people for our own people, and that's what it's about, us doing for self. You know, and while we've been here, you know, we've been doing some touristy stuff. Day one, we went to Lion Park, and we went to Heroes Acre, learned about the history. Day two, where did we go day two? Great Kingdom of Zimbabwe, was it? No, Domba Shava. Yeah, we went to Domba Shava. Day two, day three, you know, we did the Great Kingdom of Zimbabwe. Today's day 4, and we did Antelope Park. But I'm going to ask Irritated Genie to tell us, you know, so far, you know, what the best day has been for him. What has been most impactful? You know, what has been his most impactful experience so far?
This year, because last year when I came, I didn't do the Great Wall of Zimbabwe. You know, I've been to Kemet, and I've seen, you know, Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, so I've seen, you know, Giza, and then I've seen the temples, Ipitesut, and all of those things. To come to Zimbabwe and see this Great Wall, and to be able to imagine and look at it, I'm seeing even though it's a slightly different architectural style, I'm seeing the same greatness of Africans who built the pyramids, that built the Great Wall of Zimbabwe. And so for me, it was so rich and fulfilling because, you know, I'm seeing things that I've read in books. You seeing the judges, like when we're in the Great Wall, and we see where the judge sat there, where the king sat and made rulership, and we see, wow, the whole West, the whole basis of civilization is from Africa, and it's not just Northeast Africa. Every part of Africa is Northeast Africa because we as Africans migrated up and back down, so that is African.
Yeah.
That is the fullness of black people. And so to see the Great Wall of Zimbabwe and to imagine what it was like in its majesty, it was just, I don't even have words. Yeah. It's magnificent. I climbed on the top of that rock too. I love that.
I'll put that in the insert. I don't know how him find himself up on that big piece of rock there, you know. But when we look, we say, Genie, look where him there, way up, way up.
I had to do it. I don't know, something said you gotta go. I just had to go. I don't know. It's scary too.
Yeah.
I'm not a young guy anymore. I said I'm gonna do it one time.
Yeah. I got some amazing shots of some of the lions, had a close encounter with the elephants, was feeding the elephants today. It has just been an absolutely amazing, a phenomenal holiday. So if you're planning a holiday, try Africa. Yeah, I know the brochures are going to tell you about, you know, all over Europe. It's going to tell you about visiting the USA. The brochures are going to show you Thailand. They're going to show you India. They're going to show you every continent except Africa. But let me tell you this, Africa is beautiful, and there's so much that you can do here. And the learning is phenomenal. The history is incredible, you know, and you're not going to learn about it in the schools. You're not going to read about a lot of what, you know, we've been finding out about, you know, in the books that you get in the schools either. You've just got to come here and check it out for yourself.
That's right. I'm going to say, you know, for those of you all out there, and there's a lot of us, who love Brother Garvey and the work that he did, to actually see us actualizing. I mean, think about it. He was from the Caribbean, but he made his big hit in America, but he studied in Europe. So he had all of those things. And now we have America. We have people, most of them from the islands, even they live in Europe. And now the UK is heading a tour back here. We're all working together. There's no separation. Like, we're not hanging out with the black people from America here, the black people from England. It's like we all are just one African family.
Yes.
And then we're here with our brothers and sisters on the ground in Zimbabwe, and they're just brothers and sisters. And I can feel the joy that Brother Garvey is feeling, that he wasn't able to physically be here with us, but we're continuing his dream, and we're making his dream a reality.
Yeah, Ashe. So, absolutely agree with everything you said there. We are living the Garvey dream. Want to rise up Marcus Mosiah Garvey? For as long as we continue to call his name, his spirit will live on. And long may the spirit of Marcus Mosiah Garvey live. Garvey lives!
Hey, Garvey lives!
Yeah. We'll be back. I want to thank you so much for tuning into the Sister Shanice Show. Let me go back to Irritated Genie of the Straight Black Pride Movement for a final word before we check out of here.
Yeah, just want to let you know, for all my brothers and sisters that keep asking me, because you're sick of this gay stuff that they've been pushing in America, where in Africa can we go and not be hit over the head with this? Well, so far in Zimbabwe, I even wore my shirt where I really showed that we're against this. Let me tell you, I haven't been bombarded with that stuff one time over here. A totally, perfectly African, heterosexual, black, wonderful, magnificent time we've had over here. So come on over next year, wherever we go with Starlight Global, Straight Black Pride. We'll be bringing some people with you, and you can take a deep breather into some African sanity.
Beautiful, loving the African unity. Rise Up family, I want to thank you for keeping it locked to the Sister Shanice Show. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. We'll be bringing you some more updates from our trip here in Zimbabwe.
Straight Black Pride.
Straight Black Pride. Yeah, man.